Hello, Planet Poke people. I'm DioGenZ, and it's time for Pokemon of the Week. This week we're raising a Super Sweeper, one that I actually did train back in the 4th gen. Now, since this is one that I specifically trained for my team, I'm going to use that specific set. However, it's somewhat outdated, it might be. And for that, you can comment below if you think there is something better to add in the 5th gen. But if you are not satisfied with this video in the explanation of how to use this Pokemon of the Week, which is Yanmega, then you can go to my website in the description below, check out the blog, and read some more about it, which also has some additional moves on there. It's lots of good things. Not too many additional moves for this guy, but still, they're there. So, Yanmega's stats we take a look at, and it's pretty plain to see that he's going to be a special sweeper. He's got high speed, high special attack, and on top of that, he's got a vast move pool of great special moves that work perfect for his type. He's a bug/flying type, which is like this when it comes to effectiveness for staying on the field. That's the thing with these sweepers. They hit hard and they hit fast, but if they get tripped up, they too can be taken out almost immediately if you're not careful, because the way that you raise a sweeper to truly have the maximum power for knocking out opponents with one-hit KO super effective moves is by not worrying a damn lick about defense or special defense, which leaves you wide open to a range of attacks. It's really defenseless. That's why Yanmega, a lot of people think that it could use speed boost. It needs a speed boost as its ability. But I decided to mix up this set a little bit. My Yanmega did personally have speed boost, but I realized it was just wasted. There's no sense in having it because it's already a pretty speedy Pokemon and it can pretty much outrun almost anything, with the exception of some. I take a look at it, it's 95. It's really not spectacular, so I could see why you'd want speed boost. But here's the idea with going with the other ability, which is Tinted Lens. Tinted Lens powers up the base power, basically, of any non-effective move. So if you use a Bug-type move on a Steel Pokemon, it's not going to be very effective. And it will be enhanced. So say you do come against maybe Registeel, for argument's sake, and your strongest move is going to be Bug Buzz, because it's a special attack, it's a Bug-type move, and since Yanmega is partially a Bug-type, that gives it the Stab, the same type attack bonus. I'd just like to reiterate that for newcomers to this series. You get the Stab, and then you have Tinted Lenses that helps assist giving further power. So although they think that their Steel Wall will completely block out Yanmega's moves, you're going to hit him with a surprise because you have Tinted Lenses, or Tinted Lens. Although, if you want to go with the super speed Yanmega, then use speed boost by all means. It's really up to your preferences, how your battling style is, and what you plan to face. If you know that your opponent going into the match, and rarely do you ever know your opponent's Pokemon beforehand. That's almost like cheating, I think. But if you know they are not going to be too much of tyrants when it comes to taking the first attack, then go with Tinted Lenses. This guy is weak to Rock, Fire, Ice, and Electric, but if you can waver in between those and know when to send out Yanmega, the thing that I haven't mentioned yet with sweepers, the fact that yes, they are pure power and yes, they are kind of defenseless, but how do you use these? How do you integrate them into the rest of your team? Well, a week back or so, whenever it was, I mentioned a Sableye, and I mentioned supporters. And supporters are specifically for setting up sweepers, and walls are there to hold off the onslaught of your opponent's attacks, all the while giving them nasty status effects like poison, paralysis, and burn. That's the purpose of a wall. Supporters get ready to set up your sweeper. So For example, a supporter could be a Pokemon that uses Amnesia. For argument's sake, let's use Slowbro. It uses Amnesia, and off the top of my head, I really don't know if Slowbro can actually learn Baton Pass, but for argument's sake, let's say it can. It learns Baton Pass, does Amnesia a couple times, and then throws the stat boosts onto Yanmega. Now, Yanmega has boosted special defense, and that's very valuable, because Thunderbolt, Flamethrower, Ice Beam, the really tough, hard-hitting moves that you're bound to see in any metagame match, you can really have a sustained hit. You're not going to be taken out in one shot. There's one thing, when it comes down to the item I chose for this Pokemon, that you might want to play around with. I said give it the Insect Plate, with the idea that, okay, we have the Tinted Lens, we have Bug Buzz being the most powerful stab move, and now Insect Plate, of course, raises the Bug-type moves. So, it's something to consider. You could use that, or if you want to hang on, say you go with the not the power-boosted Yanmega, as we are talking about here, but the speedier version of Yanmega with Speed Boost, then you might want to give it a Focus Sash, because Focus Sash, it will be able to take any kind of damage, doesn't matter, won't be one-hit KO'd. It's like an Endure without having to use the move, which is fantastic because I think Endure is kind of useless. I've never actually seen it practically used in the metagame matches, but that's just me. I haven't I really haven't battled that many people who really want to use Endure tactics. But this is having all the great effects of Endure without needing to launch any moves. So you can focus on the onslaught of destroying your opponent with Bug Buzz, Air Slash, which Air Slash, again, stab move, because it's slash, it's half a flying, half a bug type. Psychic and Shadow Ball. These are really powerful special attacks, and they have a good wide range of super effectiveness. You have to know when to strike, though. The most important thing with the sweeper is that it's set up correctly so that all stipulations needed for it to thrive on the battlefield are met, and that involves knowing what type you're going against, knowing what kind of boosts you can give Yanmega, if any. Sweepers are not meant to be wasted boosting up their attacks. I think it's kind of dangerous to do that. I do see people doing that sometimes. A lot of people will raise their sweepers, and before on the first attack, on the first turn I should say, they don't attack, and rather they just boost their own moves with something like a Dragon Dance. And that's can be effective if your sweeper has some defense, but something as fragile as a Yanmega is going to be wiped off the face of the map clean if you don't come into battle with all your guns holstered and ready to draw. So that has been the Pokemon of the Week, Yanmega. Please comment below. Let me know what you think of this Pokemon. Have you used it in the metagame? I have, and I've taken a lot of victories because when this guy gets on the field and he gets going, he wipes people out. And don't be afraid to switch. That's something I must emphasize before leaving this video. Don't be afraid to switch. Switching is a good tactic. Not switching is poor strategy, because you could have reserved your Yanmega for further attacks and avoided any attack that your opponent tried to use as retaliation methods, and then come back into the field while your wall just waits out whoever they threw out to take out your Yanmega, like a Charizard or a Walrein or whatever they want to throw out. So, I'm DiogenZ, subscribe to Planet Poke, and I will see you guys next week.